I want to go to the floor with David Muir right now. And David, of course, you know, all day long this Trump campaign has had to tamp down that controversy with Melania Trump appearing to take passages straight from Michelle Obama's 2008 convention speech. You talked to Don Jr. about that earlier today.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, George, behind the scenes here, right behind this stage, he was, the bravado that the Trumps are known for. He didn't have that behind the scenes. He was talking about really his nerves tonight going in. He said this would be 11 minutes to 12 minutes unless there are applause. You know, I was the one who said this is going to be a welcoming crowd, and it was for Don Jr., of course, because as you and Koki just said, this crowd wants to hear from the Trumps. But as you mentioned, there was a lot of pressure on Don Jr. coming in tonight, knowing that last night it was Melania sort of taking center stage, and all the questions about those striking similarities between the two speeches. I asked Don Jr. if anyone would be fired. He said no. I asked if it was plagiarism. He said no. But here's something else I asked about the current First Lady and whether or not she should be hearing from the Trump campaign. Take a listen. Do you believe that Michelle Obama is owed an apology in any kind of way because of the similarities in those two speeches?
I don't know. I don't know that Michelle Obama, whoever is involved in this, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think this is something of that magnitude. I mean, I understand it from a media perspective, trying to create a much bigger story out of something than it is, but yeah, I really don't think so.
So no apology for the First Lady?
I don't think it's I don't at all.
Do you think a head should roll? Should somebody be fired inside your campaign?
I don't know if it has anything to do with people in campaigns. I mean, again, obviously, a speech of that size of magnitude, you're going to work with speechwriters. I don't know that they should be, involved going forward, but it has nothing to do with a poll or, the other nonsense that I'm hearing around there for people trying to be relevant.
But do you suspect your father is angry that somebody allowed his wife to go out there?
I'm sure he's not thrilled about the situation, but we're going to move on.
Don Jr., I did ask him if he wrote his speech tonight, George. He said yes, but then I asked with any help, and he said, well, of course. Keep in mind, he said, we haven't been in politics very long. We're new at this, but it strikes me today in seeing the children all there when they put their father over the top, then Tiffany Trump, followed by John Jr. up there on that stage, that this is the new family business, politics, and they plan to take this straight to the White House, George.
Sure looks like it. David Muir, thanks very much. But I wanted to go back to the floor right now. David Muir, you're in the Alaska delegation.
That's right, George. We were talking last night here about the divisions that remain within the Republican Party. They were in full view yesterday. Some of the Stop Trump, the Never Trump factions of this party. Alaska is a different story, though. You guys came here. I know that you all tell me you watch the news every night. We appreciate that. But you feel very strongly about your role here, and your votes were divided in your state. You wanted to represent both Ted Cruz and Donald Trump.
Correct. Well, that's because we were voted by the people of Alaska to represent how they felt. And so the majority in Alaska felt they wanted Ted Cruz. We are all united now, though, behind Trump. We believe in Donald Trump, and he is our candidate.
But some of you were actually in tears because of the role that you knew you had to play here, and that you wanted to represent the people of your state fairly and accurately. But I'm curious, Donald Trump Jr. up there on that stage tonight, that was a policy speech, and this audience heard that. They reacted to him talking about teachers and tenure and to foreign policy. I'm curious, did he help make the case to unify this party around Donald Trump?
Absolutely. I am a teacher, and I care about our kids and their education, and I want somebody in the Oval Office who's going to support that.
Did he help make the case tonight, though, to unify this party?
I think he did. We're unified supporting Trump. We just wish our votes had been counted the way the people of Alaska voted.
All right, George. Well, you're seeing a little bit of the unity that Don Jr. told me behind the scenes here today that he was hoping for in his speech here tonight.
And those are Ted Cruz supporters. We're expecting to hear from Ted Cruz tomorrow night. David Muir?
George, I got to tell you, as I look around here, there's been so much talk about how many Trump family members are on the speaking circuit here this week in Cleveland. But this audience, that's what they're here for. They were here for Don Jr. tonight. They were here for Melania Trump last night. And despite that comparison between those two speeches, this is a group, this is a crowd that's telling me that this family is helping to unite the Republican Party. They're all saying it on their way out. They feel even more strongly about Donald Trump tonight, having heard from his son.
That's the story with the crowd, Matthew Dowd. How about everybody?